Whistle while you work, review it. I was about to say shitty, but I actually kind of like the film. Snow White, as I put it, the most controversial film that never came out finally came out. And is the controversy still there? is it as good as I remember coming out of it last night? Well, actually, no. Now that I've had time to sit on it, it's not quite as good as I thought it was. But first and foremost, I think I do like the movie. I do like the movie. I think it is a perfectly adequate Disney remake. It's not one of the better, it's like the best ones, but I would put it in the like right in the middle. But look, let's just get out of the way right now. The controversy that's been surrounding this film, mostly surrounding by Rachel Zegler for a lot of the comments she made about not liking the original film. Not I definitely rewatched some of those comments she said about how the whole idea is she's not looking for love, she's looking to protect her kingdom. You know, we might even cut the prince out of there. It's like, that's Hollywood, folks. Like, I saw that. And like, I think there's some other stuff, but that's a lot of it. And first and foremost, and also just casting Rachel Zegler too. People like been up in arms on that. So first and foremost, let's get the one comment she did make that I did find odd, but I do understand it in like beyond the like just saying it, is that she didn't like the original. And my first thought was like, well, then why F did you take the role? But at the same time, like, you're a working actress, you're still very young, you're really starting to still just break out in this industry. So okay, yeah, fine, take that for what it's worth. But I'm just like, why'd you take the role if you don't like the film? But rewatching those comments about, you know, about calling the prince creepy, stalker, and like all that. Look, for those of you who got upset with that, I hate to tell you, she's absolutely right on that. If you watch that original film, he just finds this random sleeping chick in the forest and decides to kiss her. Yeah, no, that joke's been made to death, but it's a legitimate commentary. Like, sorry if that pisses you off. If it pisses you off, you've got other issues in your life that you need to deal with that's more important than Snow White. But honestly, watching that and like the whole idea the prince might get cut out, she was mostly joking. Probably she doesn't have any control over that. B, she doesn't have any control of how the story was written. So C, honestly, watching that just tells me she needs to learn to be a little bit more diplomatic when like doing interviews. I think it is. She's young. She has time to grow and all that, and she's gonna have a long career in this industry certainly. And if you're pissed off you don't like Rachel Zegler because of her political views, well, that's fine. That has nothing to do with the goddamn performance, okay? So, and her talent as an actress. I don't agree with like Tim Allen being that guy Trump supporter. Like, I don't agree with that, but I actually still like Tim Allen as a performer. So like I'm someone who can generally separate the art from the reality. Sometimes not so much. I know Mark's kind of that way and a couple actors as well. But yeah, ultimately I think a lot of people need to take a step back and think of something actually important to get pissed off about. Now, with all that being said, like I said, I did enjoy the movie. I did. If I just go over, let's just get into it right now. What things that work? It looks very lovely. It's a very vibrant film. Like, it's very vibrant with her outfit and like the dwarves' home and the way that like the castle and the city looks. But then when the queen comes, she sucks kind of like the life out of it. But it still looks very nice. The songs are very well done. The new ones that they created were pretty good. The not rehashes, but the redone versions of things like Whistle While You Work and Hi Ho. Excuse me. Of Hi and Hi Ho. I did like those as well. Like Hi Ho was actually a very fun entertainment piece. I actually think almost all the actors are doing a good job. Rachel Zegler is doing a great job. The script isn't always the best. I'll say that. The dialogue isn't always the best. Like, there's a line where this group of bandits and the dwarves are kind of arguing. She says, "This is just what the queen wants for us to fight each other." Like, I agreed with someone who said, "Yeah, that's not good writing." Like that's very basic writing. Like, I could probably write a better line than that. And I'm not that, and I think I'm a perfectly okay writer. I'm not, I write stories for my friends. I'm not writing a screenplay. Never going to write that because it's never going to go anywhere. Because I don't have the ambition or the will to carry out that ambition to go try to do that. Anyway, I digress. So I think she is actually very well done. And by the way, Snow White's called that because her skin is as fair and white as snow. Like, go bite me with that. Like, if that is the thing that is pissing you off, fuck you. I'm sorry, just fuck you. I want that to be the thumbnail, just be going, like, fuck you if that's the thing that pisses you off. First of all, they changed out the origin where she's born in a snowstorm. So, Snow White. There you go. Which, by the way, that's her full name. Did the king and queen not have surnames? Snow White something? Is White her middle name? I don't know. But, like, grow the hell up. Like, seriously, it's getting to the point now where, like, fandoms, moviegoers, all of anything, be it anime, movies, game culture, whatever, will get so up in arms about anything. Neil deGrasse Tyson actually did random segue here, or random deviation here, was doing an interview, and he talked about how there was like study, and it turned out that people on both sides really just wanted a reason to argue and bitch and moan, because so many people get pissed off, they feel marginalized, they feel like they're not appreciated, they feel they're not listened to, so they just want to just bitch, and they want a reason to be angry, and they want a reason to be right in their opinion, or whatever. So, and sometimes that leads to just toxic mentalities. And by the way, people say, look what they did, they cast Gal Gadot as the evil queen, but Rachel Zegler is Snow White, she's supposed to be more beautiful, the queen's failed. Like, okay, idiots, that's the point. The queen is actually very beautiful, but she's narcissistic and vain. Being the fairest one of all is not about solely outer beauty. They say this in the movie. It's also about inner beauty, who you are as a person. That's the point. And Rachel Zegler is a very beautiful girl. Like, she's a very beautiful young woman. I would say Gal Gadot is the more attractive woman, but they're both attractive. But that's the point, is that her character isn't beautiful on the inside. She's ugly, horrible, and evil. God! Sorry, it just baffles my mind. So Rachel Zegler's good. Obviously, she's got the singing chops, 100%. And as a matter of fact, most of the people who were singing in the film did a pretty good job. I actually liked most of the side characters as well. I heard that some people didn't like the prince casting. Like, they felt he was miscast. I actually they did a twist with the prince where he's not a prince. By the way, another thing that she said that I'll say that for things that are like, wait, what? And their relationship, I actually liked their relationship with each other. It added to what was already there in the original, because the original doesn't have a relationship. It has I saw him, there's no one like him, no one at all. Have you ever actually spoken to this individual? And then it's like, kiss. Let's get married and have babies. Like, that's what that relationship is in the original. I'm sorry if that pisses you off, you're trying to defend it, but yeah, that's what that relationship is. Here, they actually have conversations. They actually get to know each other. It's a far better, more realistic version of a relationship, to be honest, in a fantasy movie with dwarves. I will say, I will say this, segueing into the things that maybe... and I'll say this, I like Gal Gadot in the role, but she and the dwarves are now kind of in a weird middle state here where it's both good and bad. Let's talk about the dwarves. One of the things most people were getting really up in arms about. Like, oh my God, this didn't work. And I will admit, the first time I saw them, like, oh no. I will say it's not as bad of an effect on some of the dwarves as it is the others. Dopey, I actually think looks pretty good. I'll also say Doc didn't look bad. But, like, sneezy, sleepy, grumpy. There's a reason, like, I get what they were going for, trying to make it look like the original, but there are, like, you look at the original Grumpy, for example, and then look what they did here, like, no, it looked like his face kept melting. As terms of, like, characters, though, I like them quite a bit. In fact, Doc might have the best joke in the movie, in my opinion. I won't say what the joke is. All I'll say is that it involves him, and the bandits, and him coming out of their house. That's all I'll say. I think it's the best joke in the movie, though. But no, I as personalities, I think they work fine. I think they're decent. They got some good humor to them, and Dopey is just adorable. I'll be honest. Dopey is just a very sweet little character. And we're actually able to make him not, like, even with the big ears, relatively endearing, like actually almost adorable looking. So I really appreciated that. But yeah, and honestly, I think the issue coming from the dwarves is when they're by themselves, I can tolerate them, and when Dopey's there, I can tolerate it. Or Doc. When they have to be next to people, this is what I've heard was the issue, and I kind of agree. There's a problem there. They're not coherent to the reality. Like, they don't look like they should be in that reality with that individual. So that didn't work. And then Gal Gadot is the Evil Queen. Now, if you're just talking about just straight appearance, Gal Gadot just nails it. Like, she looks like the Evil Queen, 100%. And I think she's doing the best she can with the role. Gal Gadot's never been the strongest actor. I mean, if you're a fan of Gal Gadot, great. I mean, and I don't mind Gal Gadot. I liked her as Wonder Woman, but she had a good director behind her. And I'm not saying Mark Wahlberg's a bad director. I just don't know if he knew how to use her properly, because she's... One comment I heard that I think actually really fits well with this. She does feel like she's kind of in a different movie, because she is being very over the top, very hammy, very just like, I'm evil. And I get that's the character, but it just, compared to everyone else, it definitely feels a little off. And she gets a song. I believe it's like When You Wear the Crown. Is the name of the song. Actually, let me look up that song to be correct. Look, like I said, I like Gal Gadot. As a person, I actually like her very much. Again, I don't think she's necessarily the most talented actress in the world, but she's got her moments, and she's got a great personality too. So, what's the name of that song? So, the thing about the song is, it's not, where's the soundtrack? Where's this? Come on, okay, good. It's all fair, all is fair. Nope. Whistle While You Work, Princess Problems, a silly song. Hand meets a hand, all is fair. Waiting for a wish. Nope. Where is it? It's not Hi Ho. Waiting for a wish. Waiting on a wish? No. Where's Gal Gadot on this? Okay. All is fair. That's the song. Okay. I'll let you say this about her singing. She is in fact capable of hitting the note. Like, she can in fact her ability to hit like the specific notes is not the problem. In fact, she was actually able to hit it pretty well. Whether or not there was some auto-tune, maybe, who knows. But if you're just listening to the song, she was able to hit it. My problem, and I don't mean to sound like not derogatory, not bigoted either. Profiling. I don't mean to sound profiling. Her accent makes singing a little difficult. Add on to the fact that she has a naturally deeper voice for a woman. She's got a bit of a huskier tone, and she sounds very flat and throughout half of the song. But then when she has to hit it, she can hit it. So it's really back and forth in that song. But then it ends with her in the actual design, outfit. So that's fun. I did like that. But she does really feel like she's in another movie at some points in the film. And therein, I think, lies a lot, actually, some of the problems with the film. Is that this film, first, I heard one person I watched say it feels soulless, like it has no heart. I would not go that far. I do think there's some heart in here. But one of the other comments that Rachel Zegler made was that the romance is not a focus of the film. She's trying to reclaim her kingdom and all that, and like be a good ruler and leader. And I'm watching the film, and I'm like, no, the romance is still there, and I would dare say it's actually a pivotal part in the film. Maybe not like the utmost important part of the film, but it's still there, and it's still important to the film. But then you add the extra parts of I have to expect her at one point to break into the Aladdin song, "I Will Not Be Silenced," or whatever that Naomi Harris sang. So it is Naomi Harris, right? Anyway, Jasmine sang. I said, "I will not be silenced." And I'm hearing this, and I'm seeing how the finale, because this is the only real spoiler I'll give. Because the original movie ended more or less with the witch dying from being crushed by a rock, and then her being woken up by a kiss and them getting married. Here, they get the kiss, and there's still like 20 minutes left in the film. So there is more tacked on and to like fill out the plot, but it's almost like they were I heard someone say, kind of be ashamed to be like the original, like they had to modernize and add more, and I'm all for that. And I'm not even against what they added, but I'm like looking at this like, wait, what? She's trying to be a good... And then something that happens with the queen at the end of the movie, I'm like, I've seen this Snow White movie before. It was called Snow White and the Huntsman, and Snow White and the Huntsman Winter's Tale. like trying to be a good leader for your people, Snow White, that's Snow White and the Huntsman. Because that Snow White didn't have a goddamn prince. There was no romance in there whatsoever. I've seen this film before. Are you trying to basically just make this a Disney-fied version of that? Then why do you have her look like the original, who does not look like a badass in any way? And then and Gal Gadot gets a speech at one point to her about like what people need, like a rose versus a diamond, and then she does it again. I'm like, what's the point? What is the point? What's the point? Stop giving us the same spiel again. And then it's like the dwarves kind of become useless at the end. Like we see a moment where like it looks like they're gonna be badass, but really they're just like, "Hi, we're here." Like, what? Like you could tell they did the reshoots, because the last 20 minutes of this is kind of not meshing up with the first 2/3. Like I'll go say so far as say maybe like the last third doesn't match up with the third, or let's actually say quarter. The last quarter of the film doesn't mesh up with the first 3/4 of the film. Maybe it feels a little bit rushed. It feels like a little bit scattered all over the place. I'm not saying I hate the film. Like I said, I think I overall like the film. It is a little confused about what's going on. And I'm wondering if they like did the original like first previews for like the studio. I'm like, this didn't turn out as well as we hope. We need to add some more stuff in here. It's like, sorry, Rachel, but you're gonna be having a prince in this one. But no. And I'm not making fun of Rachel Zegler, by the way. I have no real strong. It's kind of like Jenna Ortega. I've also heard Jenna Ortega is a little bit opinionated, or just isn't as tactful as she should be. That's the best term I can think of. She needs to learn tact tact or tactic, which is what tact is for, during interviews. Because it did come off awkward how she did it, but she's young and she was trying to make a joke or something like that. So I'm like, whatever. Despite all that, though, I did in fact enjoy the film. I had a good time with the film. Is it amazing? No. Is it about middle of the road Disney for me in terms of these live action remakes? Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it, because the Alice in Wonderland films suck, though the second one's not as bad. Those suck. I like the Jungle Book. I have never bothered, nor do I care to see either Mufasa or The Lion King. Quite frankly, I don't think I'd enjoy them. I did enjoy Cinderella, although I do recognize problems with that movie. I didn't ever see Pete's Dragon. I like the first Maleficent fine. It's not amazing. And the second Maleficent is like, wait, what? It's like really boring up until the last act where people just die. I liked Aladdin, despite the fact they took out the fucking snake. Like, they replaced it with a damn parrot. Yeah, that's who the people who remember the original want to see. That's what they want to see. A giant macaw attacking people in Agrabah. Not a fuck-off giant cobra. Right? And Beauty and the Beast, the more I sit with it, the more I just don't like the Beauty and the Beast remake. There are elements I like. I like Gaston. I like Luke Evans as Gaston and Gad as LeFou. They're good. I think the Beast looks fine. But otherwise, just Emma Watson, not a good casting choice. And Kevin Kline's good in that movie. But otherwise, yeah, I think this does fall right in the middle for me. And I didn't even go over all the Disney remakes. Trailers. We got Lilo and Stitch, which that, I'll be honest, that one's probably going to make a butt ton of money. A butt ton of money. Despite the fact this was not very good. Looks like I have an underbite. But I don't have an underbite. Just the angles making me look like I have an underbite. Excuse me. But the Lilo and Stitch, that's going to make a butt ton of money. Jurassic World. Look, I am actually looking forward to Jurassic World. I know, but this goes back to what I said about people need something to complain about. They're never going to be happy. You know what? People have been wanting for a while. Original concepts with Jurassic World. Like, you could hybridize dinosaurs, make this weird monstrosity. Guess what? We got that, and I still hear people complain about that shit. So you know what? F you. You're never going to be happy. Don't watch another movie in your entire life. Because you're never going to be satisfied. Never going to be satisfied. So, but Jurassic World, I can't wait for a new trailer on that. Jurassic World, looking forward to that. We got a new trailer for Minecraft. I will say this, it is the best of the trailers we've gotten. I'm still not really looking forward to the film, but it's the best one we've gotten. I'll say that. Okay, look, advertise it before the movie actually starts. Don't advertise episodes of The Chosen during the movie. It's not an anti-religion thing. It's an don't advertise TV during movie trailers. Also, don't give me ads during movie trailers, but you do that anyway. Whatever. And then there's the King of Kings, the Charles Dickens story about Jesus. Look, I will not be at that. I know. I have one viewer who constantly asks, and I keep explaining why I don't like religious-based films that much. Excuse me. And it's just because I'm not really religious myself. I'm not atheist or anything, but I'm not overly religious. B, I have a big problem with organized religion and the shoving of it down our throats. And C, personal taste. And yet this person always every Q&A keeps asking the same questions. Like, dude, I keep giving you the same answer. Seriously. And yeah, it's not that I don't like movies with characters of faith. I keep bringing up Hacksaw Ridge. That character's faith is integral to who he is. I love that movie. Daredevil. He's the devout Catholic man, but I love the character, and it's worked into his character very well. So I don't have a problem with characters of faith or religion in general. I have a problem with organized religion shoved down your throat and preaching it on and on and on. What else did we get? Can I remember any other trailer that we got? I think that was it. I was surprised we didn't get the Thunderbolts, but then again, but I would say, yeah, actually, it's a Disney film. I'm surprised I didn't get the Thunderbolts. You might say, well, it's a comic book film. It's a Snow White. Yeah, we got Jurassic World attached to this. You could attach Thunderbolts trailer, and I would have been happy. Anyway, I digress. What did you think of the movie if you've seen it so far? If you haven't, do you think you'll see it? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.